All right, hello everybody. Back to this acid. I was
welcome to the sprite-filled caverns.
Welcome back to this acid trip.
Oh, you're right. Welcome back to Sprite Night.
We had to leave Mario behind.
Oh. Yeah.
Mario did not.
No, I like this game.
I mean, I'm surprised. I'm surprised out of all the Mario games that have been made, like the one like. I always like the idea of them like shrinking and like exploring the world like as it was, but like much bigger. They kind of did in Mario 3 a bit, and the only other time that they did anything like this
was Bowser's
like, no, hang on. Sorry, it's still funny, those guys. Anyway,
ouch. Ow.
Is
Mario,
all things in
Mario Land 2.
No, there was that, and I would like if they did more of that, but no, I was gonna say, if anything, the last time I've ever seen them do this was in frickin' Mario Party DS.
Oh, right, that entire game where everyone just shrunk down. And
because Bowser shrunk everyone, because I think he had some kind of magic rod.
What does that sound? Wait, what's happening?
What the?
Whoa!
Oh, hello!
Hello!
Oh, it's a Gui. She's very triumphant.
Oh,
She's a woman.
Oh, sorry.
That's a woman. No, it's a woman, I swear.
Is it?
This is Claw.
Okay.
Yep, this is Claw.
Searching for dangerous places, aye? Well, you're on the right track. A long-necked critter warned me of a tribe deeper down, warrior sorts, so she says, and I'm itching for some serious combat. I don't know what accent I'm going for.
Honestly, just
keep sharp, my adventurous friend.
Anyway,
next time I get a chance to talk, I'll let you hear her voice. Cause it's definitely.
I was about to say, because Discord kind of chopped up your audio a little bit, Allie. It almost sounded like you said serial combat.
Serial combat.
It was like, I guess it was like serial combat.
Part of a blood-filled breakfast.
Finish.
That.
Oops.
Jeez, I should have hit down. I struck when I should have scurried.
You say that, Hype. I think a better alternative would be more finish it.
No. But yeah, that was Cloth. She's another one of my favorite characters in this game. She's this warrior that will be helping and fighting alongside in the future. She's great. I love the whole design. I like how like simplistic yet a lot of personality some of these designs still have, given the minimal art style.
Yeah.
The slight voice clips you also hear do help it out a lot.
Oh yeah.
Well, I have to turn my audio way down because otherwise I can't hear you guys or myself.
Yeah, same
That's
here.
That's fair. When I capture things via PC, like it usually captures the game in really well quality. Yeah, we're in the fungal wastes now, and we are on our way to find some goodies. Die. You're not dead. Excuse me, you're not dead. I need to.
Oh look, a balloon I need to pop.
Almost. Got it. Okay, the party is over.
My balloon!
The party is over.
Time for the most satisfying balloon pop in this whole freaking goddamn thing. Hey, check this out.
Whoa!
I'm sure a lot of Spider-Man 2 players get onto that kind of torture.
Wait,
what happens in Spider-Man 2, the game with the balloons? Does that something happen with that? Is it a really bad mission?
Yeah, basically Hype would know this better than I do, but I'm well aware of, like, there's this whole side quest from a kid that always asks Spider-Man to get his balloon that's hanging off these high buildings or whatever.
Well, no, it's not like it's hanging off buildings. It's just floating in the air, and you have to try and catch it. But you have to be careful, because if you just shoot a web at it, you'll risk the chance of your web accidentally popping the balloon.
Fair.
Yeah.
How much pressure does he put all those web shots? Oh, hello.
Whoa! Praying mantis.
This is the Mantis tribe we're about to be facing. The Mantis tribe. If I can take a brief second to explain some of the lore of this game, the Mantis tribe were a group of bugs where they lived. They were indigenous to the area before the kingdom of Hallownest arrived, but they decided that they would allow the mantis people to keep their culture and keep their society if they did a favor for the kingdom, which we'll see what that favor is later.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they're not very. They were not like brought into the city walls and stuff.
Yeah, they were cold-blooded killers.
Yep, they're very much a like might makes right kind of people. Anyway, back to you, Hype, with the balloons.
Oh, basically, like, the kid would just, like, lose grip of his balloon, and it would just kind of, like, float up in the air, and obviously you have to catch it before it gets too high up into the air. I don't think you're really penalized for not doing them. There's just kind of like a random act of crime that happens. You know, kind of like how you'll see like random muggings happen and whatnot.
Right.
I don't remember like there being any particular big climax with doing all of them though.
A climax like it's the biggest balloon ever, and it's headed for the Statue of Liberty.
Well, I just say that because James made it sound like there was a climax to it.
Well, you made it pretty damn visceral when we did our Ultimate Spider-Man look at years ago.
Well, it's only because the mission.
Okay, don't die. Heal.
I was just about to say, I only do that because the mission in and of itself is pretty tedious, and I that's something that not just me, a lot of people that played the game have. That's why they spoofed it in Ultimate Spider-Man.
Right, Venom literally ate the kid.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
Oh, jeez.
Well, that was also done to kind of... Excuse me, that's also done as used as like a tutorial for one of Venom's gimmicks, in that his suit is constantly draining his health, so you have to feed off of other people to keep your health regained. Honestly, this is something I could save for whenever I redo that look at, because that's another look at I've been contemplating redoing.
That sounds evil, though. Like, that sounds bad. Like, you're killing people.
Well, that's kind of what Venom has to do in order to survive.
Yeah, because the symbiote's literally eating them from the inside out.
Yeah,
that's all the
makes
thing.
sense. I mean,
Did the movie explore that?
Which one?
The Venom movie.
Oh, the Venom movie.
I think it does. I think there is a clip where he eats a couple of criminals.
Well, I think in that instance, it wasn't more so a matter of he has to do it to I was about to say, in that instance, it wasn't so much him trying to do it to survive. It was more so the symbiote was just naturally bloodthirsty to begin with, and Venom and Eddie Brock was just kind of like, no, we don't kill people.
Mm-hmm.
This actually reminds me of a movie I really want to look into called Upgrade. It's I want to say it's either Blumhouse or it's by the director or the producers of Saw. And the idea, it's not a mindless, like, weird, like, violence thing in that regard. So what's happening is that there's this guy, it's almost like RoboCop, except if RoboCop went a bit farther. It's like what's happening is that this guy has a robotic, he gets like a RoboCop like procedure, and now he has a robot AI in his mind or whatever. And he is not much of a fighter, but this robotic AI is like a trained, like, combatant, like freaking, like, Jason Bourne, like, you know, really tough combatant kind of guy, like a Terminator.
Yeah.
And so there are times, by the way, I just got myself the other Mega Man X.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And it works exactly as it does in Mega Man X. You can literally
infinity.
hug off of one wall.
Basically,
Infinitely.
wall jump.
Oh yeah, and just like Mega Man, yeah, James right. It's like Mega Man X. This is like, the game Hollow Knight starts off very slow, but once you start getting all your mobility stuff, like, you'll see it gets a lot more fun, a lot faster to move around these places. Anyway, so he had there are bits where like the guy doesn't like killing people, but there was like one instance where this guy was like threatening him, and so the AI is like, "Would you like me to take over?" And he's like, "All right, fine." And then then he sacrifices control of his body temporarily to the AI, and then that's when the Saw-esque violence can happen, because he gets into these very brutal fights with people, where his body starts like having superhuman strength, and yeah, that happens.
Actually, you know what? I can say this because it's somewhat topical, and I know it'll probably be aged by the time this video goes up, but you know what? When has that ever stopped us before? They actually announced who's going to be directing the Venom sequel.
Oh? I didn't know that.
And it is, of all people, Andy Serkis.
Huh.
Also, big hole just opened up.
He played Gollum, I believe.
Oh, Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
Really?
Huh.
Yeah, he's one of the...
He's kind of pretentious, I've heard.
Aww. Well, when you play a big character and it kind of gets to your head a little bit.
Well, I was also like just going off on top of that, like he's not only he's made a name for him in like the whole field of, you know, motion capture and whatnot. He's also like done various other works in terms of acting. Like I know he's Ulysses Claw in Black Panther, and he also directed and played Baloo in that one Mowgli movie that was theatrical, then moved to Netflix. It was a weird development thing, but it happened.
Oh, really? The big, like, serious one?
Yeah, the one that's supposed to be more like the book.
I think I've heard of it.
I thought it was. It never was theatrical.
It was intended to, but then apparently
I saw a trailer for it.
I was about to say it was intended to be theatrical, but a lot of weird development stuff happened, and then it just got moved to Netflix. And I will say, I'm glad that we have a version that's finally closer to the book. That being said, and I don't know how hot of a take it is, I find it ironic that the version that's supposed to be more serious and more like the book has cartoonier CGI than the Disney remake.
Wow.
Oh, that cute doggy.
Sorry.
How old is it?
See, even Cody agrees.
How old is the dog? How old is the doggy?
Yeah, he's about 13. But he's a
That's-
terrier, so he still has a lot of that energy.
But still, that's
Okay.
pretty old for a doggo.
So
Well-
the way we're so the way we're going here, I'm just gonna say that giant, like that false knight with the big goopy guy inside of him that we killed. So he gave us that city crest or whatever, and that's what we need to place inside this guy. So we needed that city crest to open the path to the big city. This was the main central hub of Hallow Nest. Also, make sure you go by this door really fast because
It'll crush you.
it closes
Yeah.
on the way. It closes on the way out.
Who would be dumb enough to just stand there for like more than 3 seconds?
Don't let the good Lord hit you with it. Don't let the door hit you with the good Lord split you. Jesus,
Oh!
Praises.
you don't want the good Lord to hit you regardless. So, anyway, welcome to.
You don't
one
want
of
the
my
good Lord to boop you in the head.
Yeah.
So welcome to one of Hallow Nest Nights. So this is one of my favorite areas in the game for the music alone. I think I've already said it before. The soundtrack to this game is glorious. Don't mind those kamikaze guys. Just run past them. But this is the. I should show in a second here. Or I think I go too fast, but I think I go too fast for you to see the actual thing up here on screen. But this is the City of Tears.
Yep. This is This is pretty much the grand capital.
I feel like
So
I've heard
what's
that name from something else.
So what's happening is that right above this city is a big old underground lake that because there's this underground lake, because there's that underground lake, the ceiling of this whole city is constantly like leaking. But they have drainage, like they have a drainage system set in place to keep it from flooding, but it's just so cool.
Oh, Coral again.
Capitalize mode for us, my friend. A somber place, it seems, the one that holds the answers to many a mystery.
Just all that and more to make it give off the illusion that it's actually raining.
Now I said before that I find myself hesitant to sin. That's another thing. I guess it's just I also love that. I love that like, I love that feeling of like being inside and safe on a rainy day or a rainy night kind of thing.
It
Yeah.
does look pretty. It is pretty atmospheric. Welcome
No
back.
worries, Hyde.
I guess that's why they call it the City of Tears then.
Yeah. And again, this piano and the string. The guy's soundtrack is amazing. I'm so glad he's returning for Silk Song.
Well, I'd hope so, considering the fact that, well, it did just start off as a simple expansion to Hollow Knight.
Yeah. Again, I still love. Yeah, let's get the Thor. I probably should put this dang thing on. I can't
Man,
put
there are
this
a lot
on.
of charms to find.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna try and get almost all of them as I can. I'm gonna try and get almost all of them. There's like 3 optional ones that are kind of don't care too much about them, but I'll go for all the other ones. What was I gonna say? So yeah, there's the Thorns of Agony, those black thorns that reach out for me. Anyway, I should probably stop playing so recklessly. Sheesh.
Yeah.
So
This ain't Mega Man X. You have to play with some caution.
can't take hits. So also I'm on my way to go. That's right. I'm on my way to visit that nailsmith. And yeah, there would have said City of Tears, but I ran before the text finished displaying. I can swim
Oh, that's
in
good.
normal water.
Okay,
But yeah,
so normal water's fine.
Yes. So I'm on my way to a nailsmith so I can make this nail stronger. Which yes, I'm gonna want all the upgrades if I want this thing to be like.
So while you're there, are
worth
you
it.
gonna get a mani-pedi?
Yes, I'm gonna get a little mani pedi. Work on the hooves.
Yeah,
Otherwise
and maybe
it
get a
hooks-
little
it-
something
it's
to do
not
with the
hooks.
callus on your feet because with all the walking that you do, those things gotta look like murder.
Oh, yeah, seriously.
Has anyone ever, in the history of frickin' mankind, has anyone ever like physically wall jumped?
I'm
don't
pretty
think
sure
it's
that there's some
I-
parkour artists that have.
Yeah, parkour
Well, not-
artists, I think, definitely have.
You brought me another nail
No.
to be. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Hype. He has a little bit of a deeper voice, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
Leave it on the ground and return later.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I thought you were. And
Someone else.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry,
Never mind.
he talks a little faster than that. But yeah, this is the Nailsmith, the last one in all of Hollow Nest. Thank you. Almost lost myself there. I got caught up in the emotion. So he is the guy who will be going to. The first upgrade is only like a couple of geo, but we need to start looking for. Just like with any kind of like Dark Souls-esque kind of game, we need to find like materials to upgrade our nail with afterwards.
Of course.
Which you'll get from either big challenges or defeating certain bosses.
Oop.
Nail. Which I love. I always love in RPGs the logic of, here, let me hit this with a hammer. I'm sure that'll make it stronger.
Well, it's supposed to be like blacksmithing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like he's fully reforging, like remaking it.
Right. Just fixing out all the dents and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's Monster Hunter, where they're just like, let's just put it in the machine.
And inside the machine are just like a bunch of hammers.
Actually, yeah. I mean, when it comes to like honing an existing weapon you have, you don't necessarily have to remake it from scratch. You can just kind of stick it in the forge with whatever materials you need to make it stronger.
Mm-hmm. Oh god, those have been like, I've been so addicted to those videos this last month. Have you seen those videos where I guess.
Do you mean Man at Arms?
Man at Arms. The Man at Arms does have some really fun projects, but there's a couple videos like rescue, repair. I guess remaster would be the word I'm trying to say, or resalvage. The idea being that like, yeah, like in the sense of like they take like there are these videos, and I'm super addicted to them, where they take like some really rusted bin up piece of crap and they make it as if it was brand new again. And they show the whole process of how they file it down, they polish it, they melt it down. Like, and there's this series I've been watching where this guy even finds like old ancient toys and even recreates them as they once were.
I think there's a word for what you're going through. It's called weapon porn.
It's not just weapons. It's also things like toy trains and a little piano and like
All right, fine.
individually.
I'll be broader. Artifact porn.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know, I'm actually trying to think of that word too. I know it's something.
Yeah, oh god, you're right. It totally is a word. Anyway, here, let's talk to this guy.
Oh, hello.
I'm seeking some rare items. Have you? Well, hands off. Then the conversation. This guy, when we find these things like a Hallownest seal, an egg, he's the guy. Like we'll find just miscellaneous relics lingering around the place, and we can sell them to him to get a bunch of geo really quick. And he has a bunch of flavor text and stuff, but nothing that I'll really focus on too much. But yeah, no, there's got to be a word. I think it's just restoration. I guess.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, restore. They restore.
So just restoring. Yeah, like restoring some ancient, like an old. And I like that. Have you ever seen those pictures? Have you? Oh god, have you ever seen those videos where a guy like restores a painting that's been like scratched up and like is fading, and like he uses this chemical to like bring out all the vividness and the colors again, and like
must be. It sounds kind of extraneous considering you'd have to go to the details of making sure it matched the exact same shades of like red and green or whatnot that the original.
Oh no!
It's not that. It's not that.
Well, sometimes they do. Sometimes they do that. Like if the painting's been like rotted a bit, or like something like, or if the paint was starting to peel away, they have had to do that sometimes. Where they'll have a little palette, and they're trying to match. I'll show you videos sometimes. Like they are like, they get super like. They are super like. That's why they charge buco bucks to do that.
Yeah.
Like museums hire them to like keep art looking as it once did and stuff. Like,
well, my point still stands. It must be really hard to make it look right like it did originally.
Oh yeah, dude. Are you kidding?
There's a famous quote in a movie. I think it's a heist movie, but it's something the quote goes like, "Here's a piece of art, and now let's say that a forger manages to make it look exactly as it makes an exact replica. Who is the greater artist, the original artist or the person who managed to replicate it entirely?" And you're like, I mean, morally I know what I should answer, but at the same time he has a point. Like,
well, actually, what I was about to say is take this fine piece of art. Then there's this forger who makes it look exactly like it. Who do you think's a better artist? Why not both?
I mean, honestly, I was gonna say, yeah. My answer to that is they both have their own merits. They're both good in their own right.
It's just that his right was wrong.
No, but I just think it definitely takes a certain kind of skill.
Ew.
Yeah.
Rancid egg.
Rancid egg. Ooh.
Oh, I guess I should explain that. I never use it because I'm too good. No, I never use it, but the mechanic works like this. So, let's say I die, and my shade because whenever you die, you lose all of your geo, you lose half of your mana pool until you find your shade and you kill it.
Right.
And then that's how you earn back all your geo. If you, similar to Dark Souls again, if you die before destroying your shade, you lose all of the geo that you had. Like the geo is lost forever. Like, you can only. You know what? Yeah, actually, okay, fine. A better comparison. It's like Shovel Knight. If you die before reclaiming your gold, that gold is lost for good.
Well, then you could just say that Shovel Knight is like Dark Souls.
Well, technically it is. It did borrow that element from Dark Souls.
It's a thing. I like it. I like that I like that it punishes being rash and not like really trying after your second death to like actually focus and learn from it.
It also means we can get away with BS levels and blame it on the player.
That'll argue Dark Souls has always been fairly good at it. That if you really take your time and really like
plan out your course of action.
Right, it's hard, but I never would think it's unfair. There's a few moments where it's bad, like with your first mimic chest, but otherwise, it's usually like, for the most part, if something bad happens, it's because you weren't playing careful enough, or it was your fault, something, or like just just an honest mistake or something. Anyway,
So you hear that, people? The reason Ghosts and Goblins... The reason Ghosts and Goblins is hard is because of you, not the game.
Well, no, Ghosts and Goblins is still pretty guilty. The Ghosts and Goblins is still pretty guilty about screwing with the player even when it wasn't their fault.
True.
Yeah.
Also, don't mind me. I'm just opening a bunch of shortcuts.
Later games, on the other hand, were better about that, though.
Well, that part went by really quickly.
Even though it was only just a little bit shorter than the last one. We had a lot to talk about in that last part. I think is why.
Yeah,
well,
I guess that is why.
Time flies when you yap and yap.
Yeah.
So yeah, join us in the next part as we're gonna be exploring one of the darker sides of this city.
Oh boy!
As if it wasn't dark enough.
Bye.
Bye.
This is Advanced Darkness.